When people talk about retirement, you often hear some intimidating numbers. It's not uncommon to hear that you'll need $2 to even $3 million tucked away if you want to stop working comfortably. The truth, though, is far different. Most people will never see seven figures sitting in their retirement accounts. But here's the important part. That doesn't automatically mean retirement is impossible. In fact, plenty of people retire with less than $1 million, and many make it work with as little as $500,000. So today, I'm going to walk you through what life might look like if you decide to retire with $500,000. Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy, and we'll start by doing some math. We're going to look at those numbers and shake out in the real world how this would work. Then we'll explore strategies to stretch that money, avoid some common pitfalls, and make sure your retirement feels stable rather than stressful. Along the way, we'll also talk about how Social Security, pensions, healthcare, and spending habits all tie into your personal plan. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. $500,000 sounds like a lot. And it is, but in retirement, we're measuring in decades, not just a few years. That means $500,000 has to do some serious heavy lifting. Whether that number is enough or not depends almost entirely on you, your lifestyle, your location, your health, and your ability to adjust spending when times get tough all play a massive role in whether your nest egg carries you through. More money is always better, but retirement planning isn't about comparing yourself to someone else's bank account. It's about running the numbers for your situation, and that's what we're going to do. Before we go any further, I want to address my younger audience, those of you who might be between 20 and let's say 35 years old. If you're looking to retire on $500,000, I'd like to set up some realistic expectations with you and discuss something called FIRE. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the term, but if you're not, FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. It's a financial lifestyle movement centered on aggressive saving, smart budgeting, and intentional investing with the goal of stepping away from the workforce well before the traditional retirement window of 65 to 70. The idea is to build enough wealth to buy back your time and design the life that you want, free from the need of a paycheck. Although no one can pinpoint exactly where the acronym originated, the FIRE concept gained widespread attention through the book Your Money or Your Life by Joe Dominguez and Vicki Robin, first published in 1992. The book explores how to reshape your relationship with money in order to reach financial independence and create a life that reflects your values and long-term vision. It's really about achieving financial freedom so you can have complete flexibility in how you live your life. And people who pursue FIRE typically aim to leave the workforce early by slashing their expenses, finding ways to boost their income, and channeling the difference into investments. Often, this is with a combination of tax-advantaged retirement accounts and traditional brokerage accounts. That being said, the FIRE lifestyle isn't without trade-offs. It means cutting your spending down to essentials so that the majority of your earnings can be invested for the future, aka you buy nothing that you want, only what you need. And some FIRE enthusiasts are known to save anywhere from 50 to 70% of their income, which isn't realistic for everyone. Still, for those who are intrigued by the mindset behind FIRE, there are a few guiding principles that followers often keep in mind when shaping their own path to financial independence. Again, if you're in your 20s or your early 30s, your runway is a lot longer. If you're interested in the FIRE principles, I have a video about becoming a millionaire on a low salary. I highly recommend that you watch that video because the earlier that you retire, the more money that it will take for you to comfortably retire. And for a 20 to 30-year-old individual, I don't think $500,000 will be enough to have a comfortable retirement. Now, if that is still you, stick around till the end. I will have a little more information to address in regards to that. And I think it's a very good idea for you if you're in your 20 or early 30s to start hearing this information right now so you can plan for it accordingly. Now that we've got that out the way, let's start calculating your retirement spending. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has some useful averages to guide us. Based on 2023 data from BLS, which is the most recent available at the time of recording this video, U.S. households households with a head of household age 65 or older spend an average of approximately $60,087 annually. Now, you may be above that or below that, but it is a helpful baseline. So let's imagine that you plan to spend around $57,000 per year in retirement. The average monthly Social Security benefit for a retired worker is around $1,976 for 2025, but the amount varies significantly based on individual circumstances, such as lifetime earnings and the age at which benefits are claimed. Actual payments can range roughly from $900 to over $5,000 per month, which is the maximum benefit for someone delaying retirement until age 70, being the highest possible. So if you're collecting $2,000 a month in Social Security, that's $24,000 a year covered. That leaves about $33,000 that you'll need to pull from savings annually. Now, this is where retirement math begins to matter. If you withdraw $33,000 a year from $500,000, that's a withdrawal rate of about 6.6%. Now, that's not exactly close to the famous 4% rule that financial planners have used for decades, but as we'll see, real life is never that easy. One of the biggest wild cards in retirement is inflation. Prices don't stay still. Some years inflation is barely noticeable. Other years, like we've seen recently, it's very hard to miss. If inflation stays high for a long period of time, your spending power shrinks, and that $500,000 does not stretch nearly as far. Market returns add another layer of unpredictability. Even if your average return is 5.5% over the course of retirement, you won't actually get 5.5% every single year. Some years you'll gain more, some years you'll lose money, and if those losses happen early in retirement, they can throw your entire plan off track. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it's one of the scariest parts of retiring with a modest nest egg. Let's walk through a simplified scenario. Imagine a woman that has $500,000 saved, plans to spend $57,000 a year. She also receives $2,000 a month in Social Security benefits. I'll assume a 5.5% annual return with constant withdrawals of $33,000 per year and no taxes or no fees if the withdrawal happens at the end of each year. And as a side note, some of you may or may not know, you can also withdraw up to $100,000 from a taxable brokerage account without owing any taxes if it comes from long-term capital gains. That means you have to hold an asset for 1 year or more. Your total income has to also be below the threshold for the 0% long-term capital gains rate, which is $48,350 for a single filer in 2025. So, as long as you're making below that amount, you can withdraw $100,000 from your taxable brokerage account completely tax-free. So in our current situation, our retiree would not have to pay taxes on these withdrawals. So with end of the year withdrawals, your $500,000 should last around 27 years roughly. Now, if we adjust withdrawals for inflation, or if we did have taxes and fees, the timeline would of course be shorter, but this is an example, so we can only get so specific. That sounds okay if she retires at 65 and she lives until 92, but it is kind of tight. And remember, we've ignored inflation so far. If her savings are all in pre-taxed accounts like a traditional IRA or 401k, she'll need to pay income tax on her withdrawals. So let's tack on an extra $5,000 per year for taxes, and suddenly, instead of needing $500,000, she might really need closer to $565,000 to be safe. That little wrinkle shows just how important taxes and inflation are when it comes to retirement planning. For most Americans, Social Security is a cornerstone of their retirement income. So if you've managed to save $500,000, chances are you've built a decent work history that entitles you to a benefit above the national average. When you claim Social Security also makes a difference. Waiting until age 70 can significantly increase your monthly check. The downside, of course, is that you need to cover your expenses from other sources until then. That may mean larger withdrawals in your late 60s, followed by smaller ones once the Social Security kicks in at its maximum level. And for your reference, I did do a breakdown calculation of how the savings would last over time. And again, that calculation that you're seeing on the screen does not account for inflation, which would reduce the purchasing power of your withdrawals over time. And in year one, you can see what that 5.5% return would actually make. You would gain $27,500, but of course you would withdraw $33,000. Then it would show your ending balance. And if we go all the way down to the bottom at the 27-year mark, that is when you should run out of money. One of the most fascinating parts of retirement is that spending doesn't stay flat across all of those years. Sometimes financial planners divide retirement into 3 phases: the exploring years, your nesting years, and the reflection years. The exploring years are the first decade or so after retirement. You're active, you're traveling, you're eating out, you're spending money on hobbies and adventures. The nesting years come next. This is when you're active but less eager to hop on a plane or take a big trip. And finally, the reflection years are when health issues and mobility might slow down and spending shifts heavily toward medical care rather than just your leisure. Recognizing these stages can help you plan smarter. If you know that you'll spend more money in the first 10 years and less later, you can adjust your withdrawals accordingly rather than just assuming a flat line. During these phases, we should also address some worst case scenarios for many retirees. Imagine retiring in 2008, right as the financial crisis hit. If you needed to sell your investments to fund your living expenses during that time, you'd lock in big losses. This is where Monte Carlo simulations come in handy. A Monte Carlo simulation is a computational method that uses repeated random sampling to obtain numerical results for a problem that may be deterministic in principle, but it's too complex to solve analytically. These tools run thousands of scenarios with different market sequences to show probability of success. For someone retiring with $500,000, the odds of making it 30 years without running out of money might only be 50-50 in a basic plan. That's like flipping a coin, and it's not very comforting. But here's the good news. There are strategies to improve those odds, which we'll cover soon. Now let's look at a married couple with the same $500,000. They want $65,000 a year to live on. Together, they receive $48,000 from Social Security. That means they only need to generate $17,000 from savings each year. Suddenly, that $500,000 looks far more comfortable. Their withdrawal rate drops to around 3%, which is well below the 4% rule. This gives them more wiggle room if the market has a bad run or if healthcare expenses spike later on. The 4% rule is a classic guideline, but understand it's not gospel. It came from research that looked at historical market returns and tested the highest safe withdrawal rate across a 30-year period. But today's environment is different. Interest rates are lower, people are living longer, and healthcare costs are rising. Some people argue that 4% is actually too high, and you can go higher if you have a diversified portfolio and flexibility. The key is to look at 4% as a starting point, not a guarantee. Based on our example for a couple with $500,000 saved for retirement who also have an annual appreciation of 5.5%, have an annual withdrawal of $17,000, it would take approximately 43 years for the couple to run out of money. I also did the calculation and put that here so you can see exactly how this would break down. You can also see the interest earned per year minus the withdrawal, and then it gives you an average of how long this should actually last. So if you guys want to use that formula, you can definitely screenshot this or save it for later. So now let's discuss some ways you can stretch that $500,000 even further. One option is an immediate annuity, which provides guaranteed income for life. An annuity is a contract with an insurance company that provides a guaranteed stream of income, often for the rest of your life. Typically used for retirement planning, it involves making a lump sum payment or a series of payments in exchange for regular disbursements that begin either immediately or in the future. It's not right for everyone, but for those who crave security, it can reduce the risk of outliving your money. Another approach is the bucket strategy, where you divide your savings into short-term, medium-term, and long-term buckets. Cash covers immediate needs, bonds cover the next 5 to 10 years, and stocks are left to grow for later. This helps smooth out the bumps of market volatility. And don't forget home equity. If you own your home, it can be a powerful backup asset through downsizing or even a reverse mortgage. The number one factor that determines whether $500,000 will work isn't the market or inflation, it's your flexibility. If you can adjust your spending during the down years, skip a big trip, hold off on buying a car, you can dramatically increase your odds of success. Being rigid with spending, on the other hand, makes you more vulnerable. Retirement is full of surprises, and adaptability is the best insurance you can have. So, can you retire with $500,000? The answer is yes. For many people, it's absolutely possible. but it requires planning, flexibility, and a willingness to adjust as life unfolds. $500,000 won't fund a luxury retirement in Paris, but it can support a comfortable, meaningful life if you're thoughtful about your spending and you're smart with your strategies. Now, retirement is not about hitting some magic number. It's about knowing your needs, understanding your resources, and making sure the two align. If you take the time to run your numbers, prepare for the what ifs, and stay adaptable, you can make $500,000 work. And to my younger viewers, if you're in your 20s or your early 30s and you're still watching this video, I hope that it gave you some perspective. You guys, again, have a longer runway, which means you could afford to take more risk. So here is my recommendation. Start a business or learn a high income skill. A lot of information provided in this video is based on the assumption you've been working for an employer for several years and you're finally ready to retire. For me, I'm 32 years old right now, and I plan on retiring by the time that I'm 40. I'm on track to actually do it around 36 and 38, so I'm very much ahead. I was able to do this by acquiring skills. I have a higher income right now, and I'm investing everything entirely in the market, and I'm making trades to grow my income as we speak. I have an entire playlist where I talk about going from $0 to $1 million in 1 year. Currently right now, I'm somewhere around almost $500,000. Like, it's $400,000. I'm gonna add more money to the position, which will bring it almost right there. And by the end of the year, I plan on having my first $1 million. Now, did I do this in a practical way? No, but I used to day trade a lot and I lost so much money. And I want you to understand that, because I'm not trying to romanticize this. I took on a lot of risk. I work very, very hard to make this happen. And you can do the same thing. It is completely up to you how fast this can happen. So again, if you have the entrepreneur spirit and you're okay with working hard, learning a skill that might take you the next 10 years, but after that 10 years has passed, you might be able to make $2 million in 5 years. That took 15 years of your life, 10 years to fail, 5 years to actually see the fruits of your labor. And that's pretty much how this thing works, guys. It doesn't happen overnight, and you have to take on more risk. Again, you're younger. You have the opportunity because you have the time left. So I would take advantage of that. And I think one more important thing that I want to address is that no matter how much better things have gotten for me, I literally keep working like nothing's working. And I think that really enables me to be able to keep pushing. I think being too comfortable is one of the easiest ways for you to fail. So that's just my 2 cents. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you gained any good information from this, if you gained any value from this, please drop a comment. Let me know which was your favorite part. Let me know what you're doing for retirement, or give me your retirement number. How much do you think that you need to retire based off the calculations that I just presented here? And again, for my younger audience, I highly recommend watching my video of how to become a millionaire on a low salary. I also have another video about how investing $100 can turn you into a millionaire. That video I recorded yesterday. It may or may not be out before this video, so if it is out, I'm gonna link that at the end of this one. I highly recommend that you watch that as well. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day.